Hey yo guys, let's be honest with ourselves. Yu-Gi-Oh can be a really expensive game to play. Like, look at this, and this, and this. The question becomes though, does it really have to be that expensive? So, I'm going to set out on my own personal sealed only journey. I'm going to set myself out £35 a week, and in the vein of people like Nim, Revs Cards and other people who have went on their own sealed only project, I'm going to go on a sealed only project myself. I'm going to build a deck only from sealed product, and the goal right now is to top our regionals with it. Now, I haven't really been interested in many structure decks coming out within the past few months, but with the advent of the structure deck for Shadows, the Shadow Showdown structure deck, I've piqued my interest in this. So guys, without further ado, let's dive right in to my sealed only journey. Okay, so I've got a bit of a reputation for being a hero player, and I did consider building heroes from scratch. But when I thought about it, despite the fact that there's a lot of hero product and fairly recent sealed product, I then thought about the short prints, and that's not exactly convenient for either you guys or me or my wallet, which, by the way, I'm already terrible with money as is, so like I can't go out pulling boxes and packs until I find the Dusted Gold, Malicious Bane and Liquid Soldier and Sunrise. I've already tried to do that. So I thought Shadows being a fusion based deck, with fusion being one of my more preferred summoning types, I thought I would play that. So guys, I have got free Shadow structure deck right behind the camera there, so let's go get them, let's unbox them, let's talk about them, and then let's build a deck out of it. Alright, so I've got our free structure decks here. So first of all, I've actually not opened any of these yet, and I thought I would kind of go through my first impressions of the deck live on camera. So I've seen some of the reprints, of course, they're on the back, they're actually really good. Another part of the reason you go with this structure deck, I felt like it was one of the most recent structure decks to have really good versatile reprints. So let's go through the structure deck. So we've got El Shaddai Grista, which I'll probably play a copy or two of. El Shaddai Akapalone, again, because we're so limited on extra deck space, I'll probably play a copy or two of you. Construct in the new art, which is pretty sick by the looks of things. Then we have one of the new Shadows, or three of the new Shadows. So we have Qua Shadow Chaos, Re Shadow Wendy, and Nail Shadow Ariel. I think in the build I've tried this on Dueling Book a little bit. I won't be running Ariel, I don't think she really does much for the deck. Wendy though, she's quite good, being a DD Crow on either player's turn. If you send her during your opponent's turn, she'll banish 3 cards from the graveyard, not your graveyard. And Chaos is pretty cool, gives a little bit more damage, which without a current real reliable boss monster like Borrow Sword, this deck's gonna kinda lack, but also he's kind of bricky, so I think I'm only going to run him at 1 or 2. Then we have Reshi Shadow Incarnation, which, by the way, this card's pretty cool. It flips up or sets your cards during your opponent's turn, and you'll be running a couple of these. Winda, Mommy Winda, of course, got to be running a couple of these. I think the game plan for this deck is probably going to be summon Winda, set back row pass for right now, until we get a few more generic options to open up link zones and things like that. Shekinaga, again, probably going to run 1 or 2 of these. We're of course going to run Shadow Fusion because it's absolutely mandatory. 1 Shadow Falco, a Shadow Hedgehog or 2, a Squamata, which is great, Dragon and Beast, which I'm familiar with. I actually used to run them in my hero deck for Destiny Fusion. Those are great cards as board breaking cards. I don't know if I'm going to be running Hound. Zephranaga and Zephyrcore, for as much as I love pendulums, probably won't make the cut. BLS, absolutely. Lava Golem, absolutely. Dad is a hard maybe, because we have boss monsters in the form of BLS. I don't know if it's more versatile to have BLS and have Dad, or just 2 BLS. So we'll playtest that, and then we'll kind of figure out what we want to do there. Fairy Tail Sleeper, Trick Clown is an absolute yes, Armageddon Knight's an absolute yes. We're going to have to pick up some Dual Devastator because these cards are good at making like rank 4s as well. Fearless, I'm not going to go with. Electromagnetic Turtle, I'm not going to go with. Mathematician is an absolute yes, and I think that's it for the monsters. We're of course going to have El Shaddai Prison and a Nephi Shaddai Prison. I don't know if we're going to run that at 1 or 2, probably 1, maybe side 1, while we have the side deck space, just see how we get on with it. We are still going to be in that experimental period over the weekend. Super Poly is an absolute mandatory free of in the deck. I don't know, controversially, I don't know if I'll be running Instant Fusion right now, because I won't have, like, the good Instant Fusion targets, Millennium Eyes Restrict and Thousand Eyes Restrict, both haven't had printings in a while, and of course it can summon out Winda, but then it would destroy Winda during the end phase, and there's no real way to protect it with cards like Dingirsu. So it's a hard maybe right now. I have heard Thousand Eyes Restrict is going to get a reprint soon. As soon as that gets reprinted, then we'll be shoving it in this deck, and then we'll instant fusion, we'll go build a go second build. Allure of Darkness to go through your deck, Foolish Burial, Living Fossil I think is going to be really good. Now the question is, do we play Pot of Avarice or 2 Living Fossil? Again, Living Fossil is quite good because you can use it to make things like rank 4s. Pot of Avarice obviously is a great late game card, but realistically, Living Fossil, you can use it very early on. Pot of Avarice, you can't really, because it has to be monsters that you shuffle back into your deck. It's not too great. So we'll consider it, we'll test it out, but Living Fossil is definitely going to go in there again to help us make rank 4s. Twin Twister is going to see a lot of play. Shadow Core is a big maybe. Sinister Shadow Games, I might run at 1. Lost Wind, by the way, got to run that. Unending Nightmare, gonna run that. Maybe Subterra Succession, and for some more extra deck cards, we'll probably run all 3 of these, again, because we have the extra deck space. I'm gonna be honest though, I hate this card. Like, I hate Shadow Construct. It's just not good. We're gonna have to get a link to really quickly, because this card is awful. Guys, let's build the deck. Alright, so we're going to do a super quick deck profile, go through the main deck. So in the main deck we've got 3 Mathematician because it dumps stuff to the graveyard, 2 BLS because we need a boss monster for the deck, Trick Clown because it's a free body on board, Armageddonite again because it dumps stuff, so that's our non-Shadow cards. Here's our Shadow cards: 2 Hedgehog, 2 Beast, 2 Wendy, which by the way I was slightly mistaken earlier, Wendy is the one that special summons from deck face down, 2 Dragon, 2 Squamata, we have 1 Ariel because Ariel is the one that's a DD Crow, we have a Falco, 2 Chaos, and that's our monsters. And next we're running a hell of a lot of fusion spells. We're running 3 Super Poly, 3 Allure of Darkness, we'll pop those over here just to dig through the deck. We're running 3 El Shadow Fusion, so these guys can set up plays during your opponent's turn, which is really important for the deck. 3 Shadow Fusion, 1 Nephi Shadow Fusion, we've got 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Living Fossil, and that's our spell cards. This dumps and this revives. For our trap cards we have 3 Lost Wind, which is a negate for a special summon monster that resets itself during or when your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck. And then we have 2 Rest Shadow Incarnation, and to be specific about this, it revives Shadows in the graveyard. You can summon it up in face up or face down position, and then during you can banish the card during either player's turn to either change 1 face down position monster you control to face up defense position, or vice versa, flip a face up monster down into face down defense position, which by the way all these Shadows are flip monsters, so that's why a lot of their cards have emphasis on either fusion, which is kind of their thing, or flipping cards face up or face down. Okay, so that's the main deck. Now for the extra deck we've got kind of the obvious. We have 3 Mommy Construct, 3 Mommy Winda, 2 Grista, which negates summons, App Cologne, got 1 Shekinaga, 1 Wendigo, 1 Anoitilus, and 2 of the Link. We'll replace this soon enough. We're going to get into some Ignition Assault to pull a Cross Sheep because that card is amazing in this deck, and then we're going to find some good instant fusion targets for it. So we have, because the deck doesn't really rely on its normal summon, we've got 3 Lava Golem. I'm not a big fan of back row decks, so not only do we have 3 Twin Twister, we have 3 Unending Nightmare. Also just in kind of those going second matchups, we have 1 Dad, we have 3 Sinister Shadow Games, which flips up monsters during your opponent's turn, and we have our final Rest Shadow Incarnation, again just to kind of revive that Winda during our opponent's turn, but we don't have a viable option to link it off into just yet, so once we've got that, this will become a main deck free of, as well as instant fusion. Alright guys, so that's the deck profile, so it's time to take this deck to locals. I'll see you all there. Depending. I'm not the only one doing sealed only tonight.
Twists and turns.
Yo!
None of this is going on your Facebook.
Well, you're lucky I don't actually have a Facebook yet, so I'll keep it off Facebook.
Because you are getting financial gain.
None of this is going on your Facebook. You YouTuber, you new young generation person.
Joke's on you. I don't make money for this.
Nobody wants to subscribe to you because you're unoriginal and rubbish and not very good.
I'm definitely one of those things. I'm awful at this game. Okay guys, time for a quick play-by-play of tonight's events. There was 3 rounds at the small locals tonight, not everybody showed up, and this is how it went down. Round 1 was against Shadol Trains, which is in fact a profile that I've got coming on the channel probably tail end of next week from recording this, so probably this Friday when you guys are watching this. So I got stomped, I got smacked, I got put down, and it was kind of embarrassing. I got, what is it, the one that burns for 2k, and then I got leaped both games, and that was disappointing. I don't really know how I was going to put up a fight though. Game 2 of that match, I set up an okay board. I had like Winda plus 2 El Shadol fusions, the quick play one, so that I could like make another Winda if I had to, or I could make something else. But it just didn't go to plan. I opened up twin twisters, and then it just kind of went from there. I wasn't too happy about it. What can you do though, eh? So that was that. That was the first loss of the night, or the only loss of the night. Luckily from there, I kind of went way more successful and won both the next matches, so let's talk about those. This guy said he trusts me with his binders. That's a mistake. It's only. Do you know what, in fact, I'll take it as like payment for how you spanked me there.
No, I have to take things off of you.
Nah, that's not how this works. Okay, match 2 was against Salads, and it wasn't so much a blowout. Definitely wasn't a blowout, but it was definitely a little bit more one-sided in my favour, because game 1 he bricked, and I had Lost Wind. Lost Wind, turns out, is actually quite a good card, and from there I got a little bit more advantage every turn, and I managed to just outpace him. Same thing again happened for the second game, but it started off fairly even. Started off we both had a bit of back and forth. He had cards, I had cards. That happened, but as I started to use effects to like dig into the deck, like Shadol Dragon, I think Shadol Dragon is the one that lets you just draw one if you send it from deck to graveyard. I managed to draw into more key pieces. I managed to draw into more cards that would let me set up a bit of a board and let me kind of put him in his place, and I draw into 2 Lost Winds at one point, and I managed to set the first Lost Wind that I'd used, so I had 3 Lost Winds at one point, and that's just very difficult to play through for Salads. So that was it. That was all that could have been done. I ended up taking both games, sorry, and it wasn't too bad, you know. Fairly enjoyed learning the deck as I went there, and then for my last match I went up against Zodiac Time Thief. So let's talk about Zodiac Time Thief. Okay, so for the Zodiac Time Thief matchup, it was quite back and forth. Again, he went first for the first game, and I don't have hand traps yet, so he just went off, and it very much seemed like both of us had bricked a little bit, so it was fairly even for the first match, or first game. I need to stop doing that. It was fairly even for the first game, and there was a bit of back and forth, and then for the second game, I think he bricked a little bit. I bricked a little bit less and managed to just slowly but surely gain a little bit of pace on him, get a little bit more of a board. It was against Alan, who is definitely one of the smartest players I know, and all of his plays are very considered and very good. So it's not as if the guy misplays, he actually makes pretty much consistently proper good plays. It just so happened to be that with the position that both of us were in, he didn't have access to all of his good plays, and I just had access to one or more good plays than him overall, and it ended up just being my match. But it was a very difficult match. I find it was quite difficult in the sense that I'm not going to say because I didn't know my cards, but because not only did I not know my cards, but I was playing against a really, really, really good player who, I'm going to be honest, if this guy played like Sky Strikers in their prime, probably could have went somewhere with it, but he chooses to play things like the absolute sauce that is Sparkman Turbo Beatdown, which I love. So yeah, that was match 3. So let's take it to the outro. Cool. So let's open our Ignition Assault first.
I'm sorry.
Come on, cross sheep. Cross sheep, cross sheep, cross sheep, cross sheep, cross sheep.
Power cross compels you.
I need a cross sheep, man. I desperately need a link in this
He
deck.
seems pretty short, pretty.
No, that's Code Talker. God damn it.
It's actually Code Talker. I don't have, you know.
What? Oh, but she gave it to me for
Disgusting.
Is it?
Ulti.
Come back with another fucking sleeve.
You actually asking her for a sleeve at the back, she was really bad.
Oh, I hate this. Bad pulls time. Blah blah blah. Guys, so as always, if you liked it, give it a like. If you loved it, give it a share and tell everyone you know about Team Tally today. And guys, do not forget to comment on the video. Let's get discussions going. I love to reply to comments. I don't always get all of them sometimes because I forget, because I'm an asshole. But guys, I love to reply to comments. I love interacting with people who watch the video and I want to know your opinions. So guys, as always, you have been amazing. I've been Tally. I'll catch you later. Bye.